Hey guys! So in this video we are going to talk about typing speed. So let's get into it. Typing speed. How in the world am I going to make typing speed an interesting topic to listen to or watch or something of that nature? Well, I'm gonna give it a bash, guys. I'm gonna try my best. I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be a tough sell, but just hear me out. So, it wasn't all that long ago when I had a very lovely conversation with my colleague Alan. Long ago, it's a year or two maybe, something of that nature. It was roughly around the time when we got the new syntax for ES 2015 or ES6 or whatever you want to call it. And I remember it so well. We were talking and I was complaining. I said, why in the world did they have to do this weird arrow thing? Because it just feels weird. And Alan went, oh no, it doesn't feel weird. It's more brief. There's less code, less typing. I don't have to, it's so much more elegant. He's a Ruby guy. So pretty code is everything to that guy. Not really. Sorry, Alan. But anywho, and I sat there and I said, why in the world is this better than just having the word function? Function. Says what it is. And he kind of goes, well, but there's more typing. And I'm like, all right, yeah, there's maybe a few more characters. I get that, but can't you just use a snippet instead? I mean, I'm a big advocate of snippets. For the juniors out there, you may not know this, but your text editor can actually allow you to create a string. Let's say that you type a certain thing often. Then you can create a short command that just spits out a template string or template text, whatever you want to call it. And then you can simply save yourself some typing. I use this quite a lot. I have an old video where I show you some of my snippet system, if you're interested. So I use that quite a lot. And it was about the same time when we had this discussion, my colleague Mark enters the room. And we are just working, and he is, I've said this a few times before, I don't think I respect any developer more than I respect this man. He has impressed me so many times that I've lost count. And now I'm sitting down next to him trying to figure out this issue that we're having, right? And I noticed something. He's typing with his index fingers. He's typing like, for a lack of a better term, like a grandmother or a grandfather. Like, he is not typing at, he's not using all his fingers. He's typing at a speed that is, it's almost like, I actually asked him, why are you typing like that? And he said, oh, I never learned how to type. Well, basically that's what he said. And this just blew my mind. Guy's been working for 20-something years. He's the best programmer I've ever met. And he doesn't know how to type. I mean, I know people who have absolutely, they only work in Microsoft, the Office package, and they type faster than this guy. And this is, as I said, one of the most senior people I've ever met. Software genius. And I asked him, but haven't you considered maybe learning how to type faster? And he said, yeah, maybe. But honestly, I don't see the point. I kind of what? Because as I said, just a few moments ago, I had me and Alan had this discussion, right, about code brevity and how to write little code, less code, so you can read it more easily and you can type it faster and being productive, right? And he said, well, see, most of the time I find that I can copy paste some of the code that I'm already adding to the code base, and then of course I change everything so that it works with my case, because most of the code that I write is actually very similar to other code that is already existing in the code base. And I said, okay, that could all right, I'll give you that this is actually true, because I see this happen quite a lot. There's often that I find that somebody has already made some code that is very similar to the code that I'm going to write, and all I really have to do is to get that code updated. I mean, I can't just copy paste it, but I'm going to have to write something extremely similar. It's not so similar that I would like break it out into an abstraction, but it's still similar enough, right? And then he just blows my mind, and he says, well, Fredrik, you see, I've been working for a while now, and I've realized, yeah, sure, if I get the time, maybe I'll learn how to type faster, but honestly, I spend more time trying to understand code and read code than I actually write. And I don't know why, I've never thought about that, but I realized in that moment when he said it that he's right. I spend much more time just trying to understand what's actually in front of me. I spend more time staring at my screen trying to figure out what I am supposed to write or understand what somebody else wrote than I'm actually typing, that I'm actually writing something. And it's when I realized this, and we kind of talked about it, and I don't know why it felt so. It was like he flipped something in my head, and I realized he's right. And that was the day when I realized that how powerful it is. And it's actually, even to this day, I still argue that I don't actually like that you trade the amount of characters you have in a language. You make things less clear for the reader in favor of faster typing speed. It used to be the case that you may not know this, but it used to be the case that all these abbreviated types, they were created because there was a limitation on the hardware. Today that's not the case. So not using descriptive and very clear, like if you just think about it, that's why it was so clever. You spend more time trying to understand and reason about the thing that you're going to write than you actually spend writing something. So what should you optimize for? Typing speed or comprehension? Well, I argue, and that's what I took away from this conversation with him, that comprehension is much more important than typing speed. And as I said earlier, if you really want to type fast, maybe the way of typing fast, or rather producing software at speed in a fast manner, has very little to do. Maybe it shouldn't be at the language level. Maybe you can use a snippet, or maybe the time it takes you to write software has nothing to do with how fast you type. It has to do with how well you think and how comprehensible somebody else has made the code that you are supposed to read and reason about. Well, think about it. Typing speed might not actually matter whatsoever. How fast you produce working software has nothing to do with how fast you type. Food for thought, guys. Have a great day.